All right, y'all, it's go time. Appreciate everybody for being here today. Um, really quickly, what I'm thinking about doing is actually bumping the time up. I know that I said I was thinking about bumping the time back, but for logistical reasons, I think I might actually bump this stream up to 12 p.m. Eastern instead of 2 p.m. It just will make more sense for me logistically. So, just a heads up, that's probably what I'll be starting next week. Tomorrow I'm starting at 1 because I'm having a special guest on. You guys are going to love him. Can't wait for it. But just be aware for that. Next week, probably starting at 12 p.m. Eastern going forward. But tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. All right, cool. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start with a little bit of positive news. The positive news is that we're about to talk about all these teachers, these woke activist teachers just going buck wild. They're starting to be held accountable. Okay, we got 2 teachers fired. The Utah teacher that went off on her like political tirade, just dragging those students and saying that their parents were stupid for voting Trump and all of that stuff. She's fired. Okay, cool, great. Then the preschool teacher that was talking about gender and genitals and all of that weird stuff, she's fired. And most recently, the teacher that lied to her students about losing the American flag and then convincing them to pledge allegiance to the pride flag, she's under investigation, whatever that means. So that's a bit of good news, right? So like, I'm about to talk about all this crazy stuff with teachers, but maybe we'll start to see this happen more and more and more. Because here's the thing. I love TikTok. I love it. I'm going to tell you why I love TikTok. I love TikTok because it has essentially become a safe space for all of these weirdos and whack jobs to expose themselves to the world. How many viral TikTok videos have you seen in the last month? Just in the last month, never mind the last month, the last like week and a half, I feel like I'm seeing at least 1 to 2 per day of teachers who are just completely just like not self-aware at all, just deciding, hey, I'm going to record myself saying something really stupid and then I'll probably end up getting fired. This is a blessing in disguise. Say what you want about TikTok, but for whatever reason, all of these teachers feel comfortable putting their ideology on Front Street so that the world can see. And then it creates this giant optics nightmare for school boards, for all the people in charge of public education. The backlash obviously is tremendous because most people aren't on board with this. They didn't sign up to have their kids programmed and indoctrinated. So they have to fire the teachers. That doesn't mean another one won't just, rise up, sprout up somewhere else. It's like whack-a-mole pretty much. But the good news is they feel comfortable doing this. Apparently they're not getting the memo because they just keep springing up. They're not seeing, wow, teacher in this state got fired for this dumb TikTok video. Maybe I should just keep my ideology under wraps. Nope, they're not getting that memo. They're still sprouting up. So that's a bit of good news. All right, guys, I just wanted to let you guys know I am trying to be mindful about good, positive news, even if it's related to directly the stuff I want to talk about. If it's political, it's still positive as opposed to just some random positive thing. Anyway, let's talk about it. Project Veritas did a tremendous job rooting out this evil Marxist high school teacher in California who thinks that it's cool to radicalize students and teach them what to think instead of how to think. So what we're going to do is I'm sure you've probably seen the video already. I just want to play like the first minute or something, nothing else to jog my memory so I can really get my talking points down. So let's just watch a little bit of it. This is so just, man.
I have 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries.
How do you do that? How do you
scare the fuck out of them? Yeah. Sacramento organization that is under the banner of Antifa is very loosely organized, right? So that when there is like right-wing rallies and stuff, then we like will create an opposition to that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Where would he go to connect to some of these organizations? Like,
No, I post a calendar every week.
Awesome.
And then so like and I do it for extra credit, so they get points for doing it. Like, and so that encourages them to do it. And I've had like students show up for like protests, community events, tabling, food distribution, all sorts of things. When they go, they take pictures, they write up a reflection. That's their extra credit. Like I have an Antifa flag on my wall, and a student complained about that, and he said it made him feel uncomfortable. Well, this is meant to make fascists feel uncomfortable. So if you feel uncomfortable, I don't really know what to tell you. Like, maybe you shouldn't be aligning with the values that this is antithetical to.
Do you see the narcissism in this? This guy actually thinks that his beliefs and his worldview should be superimposed on the rest of the world. Like, what he thinks is what everyone should think. And anyone who dissents from his particular narrative or point of view, they're associated with fascists. That's what Antifa is known for. They call every single thing and person they don't like fascist, including a student that gets offended by seeing an Antifa flag. Now, these are high school students. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I wonder if, because he said he's offering, extra credit if they go to some right-wing event and protest it. They can get extra credit. Okay, if they're high school students, I'm willing to bet their parents know about it. They're driving it at some point in high school. So they're probably going to this and their parents know. So what I mean is maybe, just maybe, since it's California, the parents know about this. Maybe they want their students in it. I don't agree with any of this. This is all just so wrong. So wrong. And I'm happy that it got exposed. And it's even getting talked about on Fox News, which almost never happens anymore. This is good. This is good that it's getting exposed. But I was just thinking about it. Like, this is high school. How many of these students actually even want this? Because for him to have an Antifa flag flying proudly in a classroom, I mean, there's parents probably know about it, which says a lot about the parents. If the parents are allowing their students to go and get programmed and brainwashed and indoctrinated into this worldview from somebody who's clearly not happy. I mean, when you see an Antifa person, if they happen to be brave enough to show their face, do you get vibes of joy from them? Do they seem like happy people? They're never happy because the sky is always falling. The world is always on fire. And that's why they're always focused on their revolution. We need a revolution. We need a revolution. They're constantly upset. So what they're doing is bringing impressionable minds under their wings and radicalizing them. This isn't just, we're just going to have them think about race in this way or think about climate change in that way. This is, we need them to be activists. We need them to be engaged. We need them to be essentially militarized, because if this guy's a member of Antifa and he's talking to high school students, the end game is going to be that they become Antifa members. They become activists. I mean, he said in this little video, which is like 12 minutes long, I'm obviously not going to play the whole thing, but most of you probably already seen it. If not, you can just search Project Veritas. Everybody's talking about it. He said he had 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries. And his goal was to scare the F out of them. And, the fact that he has an Antifa flag in his classroom, as well as a picture of Mao Zedong, a known communist murderer, is responsible for like 100 million deaths. A ridiculous amount of people died because of his ideology, who coincidentally this guy thinks is, the moral superior ideology. He has that in his classroom. You mean to tell me the high school students in his classroom aren't taking photos of it, aren't telling their parents? Their parents know about this. If there hasn't been any outrage before this, I'm sure some parents are caught off guard, but what percentage of parents in that liberal area, Sacramento, didn't know about it? That's all I'm saying. I think it's just a little bit bizarre that this is just now coming out. I feel like this, if there was true outrage, it should have been outrage from the minute he became a teacher. How are all these teachers slipping through the cracks? It remains to be seen if this guy's going to be fired. I personally don't think he will be, just because this isn't something that surfaced. Yeah, he talked about all this stuff, right? They caught him on camera, a hidden camera. But what are the odds the school didn't even know that that's what his perspective was if he's hanging up his beliefs in the classroom? He's actually not even really hiding his beliefs, if you think about it. Because if you're going to have a picture of Mao Zedong hanging up in your classroom, I mean, what else do we need to know about you? We got all the information right there. See, that this is the college education, or not college, high school education that is churning out the next generation of communists, people that hate the country, right? And Yuri Bezmenov, I should have had the video pulled up. I thought about pulling it up and then I forgot, spaced it. Yuri Bezmenov talked about all of this. It takes about 15 years to demoralize a country, and it starts with programming kids, starting from the very time that they're learning, little bits and pieces of them learning. That's when they start exposing it. And if you think about it, it's not just high school, it's not just middle school and elementary and preschool. It's right after they come out of the womb. Look at this: anti-racist baby, feminist baby, woke baby, A is for activists. Look at these books. It's like, well, I guess if the babies just have to come out of the womb, if we can't abort them, we might as well control them from the very minute they arrive and start pushing disgusting and evil propaganda on them. Look at these books targeting babies. I mean, and these are I just don't get it, how the worst people on earth have so much access to children. It boggles the mind. And I know I sound like a broken record because I keep saying homeschool, homeschool, homeschool. And I really think people are going to finally start to get the message, because there's so much of this coming out right now. I can't even keep up with all these teachers. I can't keep up with which teacher is saying what, because it's a new and every day. One talking about genitals and gender, one talking about pledge allegiance to the pride flag, one going on unhinged rants, bullying, intimidating. How are these teachers getting hired? I mean, they don't look stable at all. If you take away, like, I don't even know if they can make it as Starbucks baristas without, people being on edge, just talking to them. They have the crazy look in their eyes. How is this not coming up in the interview? Who are their subordinates? Who are their supervisors? The people that are interviewing them, what do they look like? Because how do you get these people to slip through the cracks? And then, because it's high school, probably that's why he felt so comfortable putting his Antifa flag proudly in the classroom. I mean, look at this. On his off day, look at this. They catch this dude with a hammer and sickle t-shirt. He wears his beliefs loud and proud. This is a big bombshell, explosive report from Project Veritas, but this guy isn't really hiding it. I mean, he's not. I mean, he doesn't care. I mean, he was obviously ashamed that he got called out. Somebody actually stood up to him. But for the most part, what he believes, what he's pushing has gone unchecked. He feared no consequences to his beliefs. He thinks it's his moral obligation to radicalize high school students. I'm willing to bet at least some of those high school students are comfortable with it. The one that wasn't, as you'll find out if you watch the whole video, one student said they were uncomfortable, and he's like, well, hey, I don't know what to tell you. I guess you got to change your beliefs if you're uncomfortable with the anti-fascist flag, because that means that you are a fascist. The irony of these people, man, it's just pure narcissism. So he's wearing a hammer and sickle t-shirt when they actually confront him. He's got the flags up. Of course, he's got the rainbow pride flag in his classroom. All of this is just par for the course, because this is the only way they can actually win. This is how the left wins. They have to get control of the youth. They have to normalize it from an early age. They have to make it so kids don't even learn about the Constitution. Kids don't learn about civics. They don't learn about freedom. All they learn about is how they need to be woke, how they need to be anti-racist, whatever the hell that means, and how pronouns are the norm. I mean, think about how they target children before they even make it to this guy. By the time they make it to this guy, they're ready to go. They're already driving. They're going to protests. They already know more about the world. But before that, they're targeting kids with cartoons, with emojis, these pronouns, the suggestion that, kids, or, you can change your gender. I saw a story. I just could not cover it, but I'll tell you guys. I saw a story about a 3-year-old boy that tried to mutilate himself because he thought he was a girl. Where does he get that idea from? You already know where he gets that idea from. But that's what it is. They're starting young. They're starting with these books, these childhood books. They're starting with cartoons. They're starting with, and it's out in the open. They're doing it right in the open. And here's the other thing. The reason why you're seeing it explode right now is because they feel emboldened. Why do they feel emboldened? Because all of this woke activism, all of this insanity has an ally in the White House. Joe Biden is an ally to this movement. So they feel empowered. They feel emboldened. They're on the attack. They're coming after you. They're targeting your kids. They're literally singing songs. We're coming for your children. They're singing songs because they're so proud that they can go on the attack. They can unleash all of their demonically possessed energy on your kids. But no, God wins in the end. This is so evil. This is so wicked. Anybody who doesn't call this out is just placating to it. They're fine with it. How can you be passive? Even if you don't have kids, how can you be passive as this is happening around the country? And it's not just on the coast. They're starting to creep inland. They're coming to the midsection of the country. They're coming to Arkansas. They're coming to Iowa. They're coming to Oklahoma. It's not just teachers. It's school board members. Remember the woman in Oklahoma just a couple weeks ago talking about unmasked children coming to school are murderers. I mean, these people are radical, unhinged. They mean business. This is top down coming from the White House. They want your children, if they're allowed to be born and come out of the womb, because remember, they have this whole problem with, the unborn. They don't believe it's a unique genetic code. They think it's part of a woman's body. Therefore, she can kill it. Even though if you kill a pregnant woman, you get double homicide charges. But that's a whole nother story. I'll just digress from that. They have a problem with children coming out of the womb. And so when the children do come out of the womb, if they survive that treacherous journey coming out of the womb, the world instantly begins imposing its will. And unless you're a parent of faith, unless you have strong conviction, unless you're aware, unless you have been programmed yourself, you will be susceptible to losing your child early. There is no better selling point to homeschool than everything you've seen just this year, just since the beginning of this year. And there's obviously so much last year. You had the crazy teacher from Oregon. I think they called her Subaru Karen, but I played her video on here before where she's wearing a mask in the car. She's shouting at Trump supporters on the street. Her wiper blades are going off. It's not even raining. The lady is a mess. And she's screaming on people across. She almost got in a car accident. That was a teacher. And she said, I'm a teacher. Why do these teachers feel so emboldened? It's coming from Joe Biden. It's coming from Kamala. It's coming from the woke military leadership. It's top down. It's trickling all the way down. And they're on the attack. But I love to see parents, community members alike, gathering, pushing back, putting pressure on these schools. You're starting to see investigations. We'll see if it leads to termination. We'll see what happens with this teacher. I'm willing to bet he's not going to be posting any videos anytime soon if he does have a TikTok. But even right now, if I pull up libs of TikTok on Twitter, I guarantee you there's already new videos of teachers popping up with their ideology, pushing their ideology, bragging about pushing their ideology on kindergartners, preschoolers, first graders, fifth graders, high schoolers. It's not until you get to college until you actually get some legitimate pushback from the students themselves, because they're adults at that point. So, I mean, if you're an adult and you're sitting in a classroom and you're just digesting all of the propaganda, I mean, you're an adult at that point. It's your choice. You know, maybe it reflects poorly on your parents. Maybe they're activists themselves. See, that's the thing. I mean, where do you draw the line? Because if parents want their students to be involved in this, what can I say to those parents? What can you say? But it's the parents that don't know. They're unaware. They didn't sign up for this. And oh, by the way, we're talking taxpayer funded. This stuff is taxpayer funded, public education. So crazy times, man. Crazy times. But shout out Project Veritas for exposing this guy. We'll see if he gets fired. We'll see. This be interesting to follow this story and see where it goes from here. But man, all these teachers freaking out, bullying students, unhinged. They shouldn't be around kids, let alone being able to teach them. Jesus. Anyway, moving along. You remember yesterday I told you about the good story, at least the story with a semi-happy ending, where a mother lost temporarily her custody or visitation rights to her son because of her vaccination status. And this is because some activist judge felt it was his role, his obligation to police her body and make sure that she got that medical procedure, that big pharma product, in order for her to have visitation rights with her son. Well, he reversed all that. But check this out. I don't know if this is the guy or the father of the kid, or if this is some other dude who got inspired by hearing this. But listen to this guy strategize about how he's going to target his child's mother the same way.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. As a lot of you know, I have a 5-year-old son who is with his mother, my ex-wife, and her entire family 5 days a week while he goes to school in her district. Also, as many of you know, she and her family are all anti-vax, anti-mask. Guess what she admitted to while I was recording in my car on my property? I asked her point blank, "Are you COVID vaccinated?" She said no. I said, "Do you plan to be?" And she said, "Maybe, I don't know." She said, "Maybe, I don't know." I now have hard proof of her admitting she is not COVID vaccinated around my son and takes no precautions whatsoever. And I can subpoena video of her being in stores unvaccinated with no mask with my child. I don't know for sure, but I think this could really help my case.
What a sicko. What a little demon. How is he going to sleep at night knowing that he's trying to blackmail the mother of his child for his own gain, not for the child's gain? Notice he didn't mention anything about the child. He's just using the child as a pawn to try to, seize power. It's all about power. It's all about power and control with these people. They literally just want to control others. All right. This is beyond disturbing, because where did he get this idea from? Boy, I wonder, could it be James A. Shapiro in Chicago? Could it be some of these other judges across the country that are starting to pry into the personal lives of people in their medical history? I told you, we're so close to becoming Australia. It's not even funny. And now you've got people, just randos on TikTok. Again, TikTok, people love to expose their nefarious agendas on TikTok for whatever reason. TikTok is a gem right now. Let's enjoy it while it lasts, because eventually they'll probably shut it down. I don't know. But for now, people are exposing themselves, and we need to be grateful that people are showing us who they are and what their agenda is. So this guy plans to target the mother of his child because she hasn't gotten a medical procedure. And he thinks that that's a good idea. He thinks that that's great. Like, that won't ultimately drive a wedge between the child and the mother. It's just, I don't even want to get into it. It's just so evil. So evil that there are people out there thinking like this. These authoritarians, these people that want to snitch. They had snitching hotlines before. I told you, they plan on a full-blown police state in the country. So yeah, all the people that you know, the people that I know that think, man, if only those damn Donald Trump supporters would just get their vaccine, these unvaccinated QAnon conspiracy theorists, if they just got their vaccines, we could go back to normal and get our freedoms back. We can just comply our way to freedom, guys. We can do it. We're in this together. There are people who still actually believe that. And so they feel inspired by snitches. They feel inspired. They cheer on censorship. They love it. They love to see this. But they don't understand that that's not how it works. You notice how we just effectively ended the 20-year war in Afghanistan, but are we going to be repealing the Patriot Act anytime soon? I don't think so. Once your freedoms are gone, they don't come back. You don't comply your way back to freedom. You don't vote your way back to freedom. When you give up your freedoms, because that's what it takes, they don't just control you. It's about compliance. We outnumber them 100% of the time. We've always outnumbered them. Slaves outnumbered the slave owners. Always. You outnumber them. So the only way they control you is through compliance. So you're not going to comply your way out of tyranny. You're not. So, people need to wake up and see that. It's sad that they haven't. And I don't remember who posted this on social media. I don't know. It was a tweet. They said there are 3 types of people. There are people who see, there are people who see once shown, and there are people who don't see at all. Right now, there are a lot of people who just don't see it all, because there are people for sure who they didn't see before, but when you show them something, when they see these Project Veritas videos, when they see these TikTok videos, it alarms them, it disturbs them. And once they see, they can't unsee. That's good. That's good. We just have to have a majority, because there's not going to be 100% of people all waking up. That's just, I don't think that's ever a thing. It's all about the majority. So if the majority can wake up and see this, which I think the majority has, that's why every single Joe Biden speech, every video, any type of teacher video, you can just look at the ratio. You can look at the ratio and see who approves, who disapproves. If the comments aren't disabled, you can read the first 3 to 5 comments. You can even scroll down and find the 400th comment, and they all agree that they do not like it. They do not approve of whatever that message is. So the majority of people, yes, the majority are sane, but the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And unfortunately, the squeaky wheels are these radicals, and they have allies in Congress, in the White House. It's not just these communist teachers. It's communists in positions of power. People like Bernie Sanders, who honeymooned in the Soviet Union, who praised Fidel Castro, talked about Cuba's wonderful education system. Maxine Waters literally penned a letter to Fidel Castro. They cozy up to communists. Che Guevara t-shirts. I think Beto O'Rourke had one of those on. But yet they'll call you a conspiracy theorist for noticing and calling them rightfully what they are, communists, whether they're on the fast track or the slow track. Bernie at least basically outright admits it. He's a commie. But people like Joe Biden, same thing. Their end game is all the same. Totalitarian government. And so to bring it back to this vaccine thing, they use it, public health crisis, air quotes, crisis, public health crisis, climate activism, racial justice activism, anti-racist stuff, all of these issues, they just cycle through them, and they use it as justifications for power grabs. They use it as justifications to consolidate power, to confiscate wealth and property, and crush you under the boot of government tyranny. That is their goal every time. And it's not just people in positions of power. It's rank and file members. It's just random people in society that think that they have a higher claim over your life and property than you do. They use it to push propaganda, climate change propaganda. How much of climate change propaganda have you seen? Racial justice propaganda. They use everything. Climate change, school shootings, any any, like, I don't know, tragedy that they can use. Like Rahm Emanuel said, they admit it. Never let a good tragedy go to waste. Use it, exploit it for gain, for power, for control. People that want to control others are under demonic influence. It's just period. That's the truth. We were born free. We were meant to be free, left alone. I'm going to live my life the way God intended. And when you talk about this medical procedure, and I'm pivoting right now to Japan, you know, these people want to control you through this shot, and they are mad about you being skeptical. Like, it's not healthy to be skeptical. Yeah, you should be skeptical. When it was rushed through safety trials, when we don't know the long-term studies, we're not even going to get the results of those studies until about 2025. Did you know that? I don't know if in the history we've ever done this, where something gets approved and then they start testing it. It should be the other way around. You should test it to know what the studies show, what the results are. But no, they present it like there's no downsides whatsoever. There's no side effects whatsoever. If there are, which we know there are, they suppress it. They throw it off social media. They'll censor it, suppress it. They make it look like, nope, all is good. And then they get mad for you noticing. And, you know, the side effects and all the symptoms and all that stuff, they don't want you to know. But if you notice, then they'll call you an anti-vaxxer. And what does this do right here? Even though it's happening in Japan, what does this do? This is not good for public trust. Japan suspends 1.6 million Moderna COVID vaccine doses over contamination concerns. What? Japan's Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare suspended the use of more than 1.6 million doses of Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine Thursday, following reports of contaminated vials at multiple vaccination sites there. Are you kidding? How did this happen? Quality and control? Was somebody asleep? Was this like some Epstein suicide watch, but let's take a nap type situation? How did you let some altered, contaminated vials of a medicine that they're pressuring people to take slip through the cracks and actually end up in people's arms? Are heads going to roll for this? I doubt it. Surprised this even made the news, because, you know, they got to cover this up at all costs. But man, so Takeda Pharmaceuticals, which distributes the vaccine in Japan for Moderna, said it notified the ministry after several vaccination sites reported an unspecified foreign object found in one specific lot. We requested that Moderna, the product owner and manufacturer, conduct a thorough investigation to determine the precise root cause of the issue, Takeda said in a statement. Takeda also said it is not aware of any significant safety concerns stemming from the contaminated doses. Now, let me also say this for the YouTube algorithms. I am not giving medical advice. I am just reading an article from CNBC, you know, a very trusted name in news. I'm just reading an article. All right, YouTube algorithms, thank you. All right, Moderna said it's been notified of the problem and it's looking into it. The company is investigating reports and remains committed to working expeditiously with its partner, Takeda, I think I pronounced that right, and regulators to address this. Now, I can't figure out what part of the article talked about what was actually in it, because I'm reading different sources that there were like little black particles in there. I saw some with like some kind of heavy metals in there. I mean, bro, what is this? You just because it's happening in Japan, don't think there may not been some that slipped through the cracks here in the United States while they're pressuring you to get this thing, right? Pressure. You have to get it. It's the only way to be healthy. Also, you can't sue Big Pharma when their contaminated shot potentially, you know, does some damage. Potentially, YouTube, potentially. Just saying. Rovi, the Spanish pharma company that bottles Moderna vaccine, said it is investigating the situation and that the contamination seems to be limited to some batches meant to be distributed in Japan. Where is this part of the article? See, I got to get some like little highlighter feature on this so I can just highlight the paragraph. But there's a paragraph in here that says that there were basically metals in this thing. Matter of fact, we got to get to the bottom of this, guys. I'm going to improve. Learning as I go. Appreciate you guys. Okay, let's just look. Here we go. So we got Yahoo, we got USA Today. So a lot of people are reporting on this now, even though the story is actually like 2 to 3 days old. After particles found in vial. Okay, here we go. We're going to go with USA Today. Let's see if they say exactly what was in it. But here we go. Over 3,000 people had already been vaccinated from that contaminated supply, according to the BBC. We are aware of unofficial reports that have provided initial indication of the type of particle matter in the vials. These reports are inconclusive, and it is important to rely on a formal investigation before determining the precise nature of the particle, Moderna and Takeda said. Okay, so here's the thing. Props to Japan. Japan at least appears to care about its people because they pump the brakes. I feel like here, because we're so desperate to get that needle in everyone's arm, they would just try to sweep this under the rug. Like, guys, don't even worry about it. We'll weed them out. We'll find out. We'll just keep full steam ahead. We've got to get the shots in the arms. I feel like that's how aggressive our government is here. I really do think that they would continue business as usual, try to suppress it as much as possible, convince you everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Just get your shot. I feel like that's what we would do here. I don't think we would actually take the time to say, well, let's do an investigation. They would probably just call it fake news. Okay, it's a right-wing conspiracy theory. So, yeah, some contaminated vials are suspected to have been caused by needles sticking in the vials and ripping off parts of the rubber stopper. Think about that. That's gone. That's went into some people's arms potentially, and they sounds like they don't know who might have gotten one of the contaminated shots. So yeah, again, YouTube, this is mainstream news. This is not me speculating. This is from USA Today. This is from Yahoo. This is from Reuters. Yeah, this is a PR nightmare for the, people that are very happy-go-lucky about the Fauci-ouchie. They're scrambling to do damage control over this, because if people weren't skeptical before, which they were, this just adds to it. You just threw more gasoline on this raging fire of skepticism. The fact that you're pressuring people to get the shots, you're suppressing any alternative information, you're presenting it as if there is zero downsides, knowing that everything in life has pros and cons, except for this big pharma product, right? And then come to find out you're sloppy with the rollout and the distribution, and there's potentially contaminated vials. What else are we going to find out that we don't know? On top of the fact that you rushed it through safety trials, rushed it to get it approved, and now you're just amping up the pressure, talking about you got to show an Excelsior pass if you want to go have fun and Bill de Blasio's New York City or California. Like, give me a break, man. I don't want to hear nothing else. No guilt trips about you're just being an anti-vaxxer. Good grief. Anyway, moving along. That's sloppy. We'll see how that plays out. Biden. You notice I put in the title, Biden sucks, because he does, man. He just does. He sucks. I should just put that in every title. Every title, just a reminder. Biden sucks. He's most likely going to go down as the worst president ever. At least the worst president in my lifetime, probably your lifetime. One of the worst ever. Just awful. I mean, he broke his promise, lied about it, looked you straight in the eye with a straight face, looked at his watch, just total disregard for the fallen service members, just lied. Like, oh yeah, we're going to get everybody out. We're going to stay until everyone's out. Yeah, that turned out to be a lie, Joe. And then he's pretending, we find out that he talked to the ex-Afghan president and tried to, put a spin on it and say, hey, let's present this as if we're winning, even though that may not be true. This all comes out from a leaked phone call that he's saying, yeah, let's just pretend like everything's on the up and up, even if that's not true. And then on top of that, this fool goes and claims victory. He's looking at it like it's a victory. I looked at the Wikipedia page of the war in Afghanistan, and even the Wikipedia page, the outcome says Taliban won. Taliban won. They won. They were successful, not the US. So who are the humans in the United States of America that are looking at this Taliban or this Afghan withdrawal and they're saying that's a win? Don't get me wrong. People are definitely saying, I'm glad we're out of there. I agree. I'm happy that that war is over. Most people are happy that it's over, but we absolutely hate the way that it went down. The withdrawal strategy, the fact that we left behind American citizens, service dogs, military equipment, and then the so-called commander-in-chief lied about all of it and then colluded with the ex-Afghan president about covering it up. Like, hey, let's just present it. What else is he lying about? What else is he, doing backdoor phone calls and, trying to put a sheen on to make it seem rosy when everything is really bad? I mean, just horrible. And then they're talking about they have leverage against the Taliban. What leverage do you have against a country that hates us? They're now run by the Taliban. They're now being acknowledged as the legit governing body of Afghanistan by China, Iran, Russia. What leverage do you have? Are you talking about bribery? You talking about your stupid little declaration or whatever you had a bunch of countries sign where you're like, you better do what we say. You better do this. As if they're going to respond to that. The gaslighting is just out of this world. It's on another planet. The gaslighting is on a different planet. So far outside of this world. Actually, down is really up. Down is really up, guys. Up is down. Bad is good. Bad is really good. We really won, even though we really lost. See, they measure success by failure. That's why he's able to so confidently look into the mic or look into the camera and say that we were successful. And he stands by his decision. And he made no mention of the billions of dollars of weapons that was left behind on purpose. So look at these photos right here. These will piss you off. This is the Taliban showing off in our armored vehicles in a victory parade. As Joe Biden claims victory, he just wants to submit his legacy. Look, I ended America's longest war. Yeah, but you are an awful human while doing it. Yes, you technically ended the war, but you did it in the worst way possible. This is your legacy. Let these photos, let these images circulate forever so they can be associated with Joe Biden. Mr. Potato, look at this. They're celebrating in armored vehicles. They're flying in our helicopters with the Taliban flag. Look at this. Army tanks lined up. They got the Air Force Base. Yeah, I saw this helicopter situation. It had somebody hanging from a helicopter. Apparently it wasn't. I don't think the person died. I think they were, I don't know. There's conflicting reports on that one, but they're flying our helicopters. They're learning how to use this stuff. Look at these photos, y'all. This is wild. They're celebrating. They had a freaking mock funeral to, I guess, I don't even know how to articulate it, but they had a little mock funeral with 3 caskets, one with the American flag draped over, one with the British flag, and I think with the French flag, maybe Russian flag, I don't know, to symbolize that they won, and that's death to America leaving their country, and probably in other ways too. I mean, smiles on their faces. I saw them dancing to a Drake song. They're eating ice cream. Look at the photos. They're happy because they won. So yeah, that's my daily little rant about Joe Biden. He sucks. No reason to dwell on anymore. Just know that we did not win, even though he's telling the country that we won. Everything's cool. I'm Joe Cool. We got everyone out. I kept my promises, even though I didn't. Don't believe your lying eyes and ears. Yeah. Anyway, moving along. Going to be wrapping up here shortly. We're almost at an hour already. Wow. Illinois woman arrested for using fake COVID vaccination card that read Moderna and was signed by CPL Wolf and Sergeant Monty. I have no idea who that is, to enter Hawaii. Anyways, this woman from Illinois somehow got her hands on a fake COVID vaccine card and wrote Moderna. The only problem is it was spelled Maderna. So pretty big boo-boo right there. I mean, you're just begging to get caught at that point. Not the brightest light bulb out there. Not the sharpest knife in the drawer, tool in the shed, bulb in the box. I don't know. You get what I'm saying. This is a bad look. Okay, here's the vaccine card. Oh man, I love the Daily Mail, man. They just come with all the receipts. So you can zoom in and see this. Okay, first of all, it looks like a 4-year-old wrote this. And then right here, Moderna, Maderna, Moderna. And the vaccine record card. She got busted trying to enter Hawaii. There's so much wrong with this. Number one, stand on principle. Don't even go to Hawaii. I don't know what she was going to Hawaii for. To be fair, she could have been going to see family, could have been an emergency. But why would you go visit a state that wants you to show your papers? Even if you're going to produce a fake document, why even play into that game? Why do it? So she got arrested, which I don't think is fair. I don't think it makes sense. So now what? She's a criminal officially? Oh, I lost the article. I closed out of it. Oh, well. So now she's a criminal? She got arrested for it? I don't know if she had a criminal history prior to that. Guess it doesn't really matter. But she got arrested for producing a fake medical document that she shouldn't even have to show in the first place. What country do we live in? Hawaii must be gone. So far gone. Maybe Hawaii could just become its own country. Maybe they can be their own little communist collection of islands. Just top-down control. Nobody can be happy. See, only people are pretending like this is normal and they're really happy as they are lining up like sheep headed to the slaughter with their vaccine cards and their face triple masked. They think that they're happy because they're going back to normal. When in reality, the noose is just tightening around their neck. That's it. And for the rest of us, we are the resistance. We are the true resistance. I guess that's a good note to wrap on. That's sad that this woman, I mean, she produced a fake document. I get it. I get why she would do it. I still think it's stupid. And it was sloppy. You can't even spell the name right. Oh, it's so bad. So bad. Can't even give her an A for effort on that one. Anyway, give you guys some shout outs and then I'm going to wrap. I mean, I went through everything pretty quickly. If there's anything that I've missed, if there's any topic I have not covered, guys, let me know. What did I miss? Did I get everything? I feel like I've covered everything. There's got to be some other story that has come out today. I mean, if you thought Biden was bad last month, it's September 1st today. So we'll see what he brings this month. Let's see how much worse it's going to get. DM says, try clicking the bell off and on. Sometimes that helps. Yeah, make sure you guys have the bell notification so you don't miss a live stream or anything I upload. I promise you won't be bombarded. You'll get at the least 5 notifications per week. At the most 7, because that means I upload something every day. But you won't get more than that. It's not going to be like constant notifications. But I recommend, if you like the content, to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss it. At the very least, you can add it to your watch later and then check it out after work or whatever. Who else we got in here? Appreciate the moderators for being here. You guys have been on point. Hawaii has a class action lawsuit against the vaccines by the Firemen's Union. That'll be something to watch. Like I said, this can go away if people just stop complying. I think I said maybe 2 weeks ago, if the essential workers like truck drivers, people who deliver gas, people who deliver food, if they say no, if they agree to block highways like they're doing in Australia, I think something can happen. I think they can turn things around. You know, these elites that are trying to force us into this forever fear-based lockdown, this perpetual state of lockdown and fear, they can't do this without compliance. And they still need us peasants, the peons. They still need people to make their house function, to deliver food. They can't function. They cease to exist without the plebs of society helping them out. The people that built their houses, people that work on their cars, people that make the electricity work in their house. That's what I'm talking about. If all those people just stop working, then you can bring society to a halt on your terms. And only by them reversing action can we go back to normal. You know, we really hold the power is what I'm saying. And I don't know how anybody can argue that. The power lies within massive collective action, not in the collective communist way, but in the individuals who believe in freedom and living the way God intended us to live, coming together, strength in numbers, showing the establishment we're not going to take it. I mean, that's how we get her done. That's how it works. So, yeah, stop the air traffic. JP said stop the air traffic. That's a great way to get it done. Luciano said he got no notification. Yeah, that's YouTube. And I see the views are a little bit down today. They're usually closer to 200. I'm not sure if there's something else going on or what, but that's cool. I still appreciate this many people tuning in the middle of the day. Y'all are the real MVPs. You guys keep us going here on this channel. You really do. USA truckers are some, Aaron said, USA truckers are some biatches. Biatches. I mean, I can't really speak to that. I got to go ahead and disagree with that. My cousin is a truck driver. And I think a lot of people are afraid to do it because they be putting their entire livelihoods on the line. I understand why somebody wouldn't want to do it or they would be hesitant to do it. But at the end of the day, the sacrifice is worth it when you look at the bigger picture. Do you want your kids, your family to have as much freedom as you had growing up? Or do you want communist teachers, radicalizing them? Do you want preschool teachers sexualizing them? Do you want them muzzled with face diapers and told that the way they were born means that they are sinful by nature? We're all sinful by nature, but you get what I mean. Extra sin piled on because you're white, or extra layers of victimology, victimhood layered on because you're not white. Government playing all these games, trying to control everybody. All this bad energy, bad vibes. I mean, I think it's worth, risking everything, putting your job on the line for, a free society. That's just it. I will not ramble on that point. So I got a super chat from Norm. Norm says, keep up the great work, Mike. I appreciate you, Norm. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you kindly. You are much appreciated. But yeah, guys, I'm keeping this short today. Shorter, right? We're under the 1 hour mark. But for everybody that is tuned in right now, do me the biggest favor. Hit the thumbs up so you can help me overcome these algorithms. If you're watching and you have not given a thumbs up to this stream, give it a thumbs up right now. So important that you do that. Please do. If you're new, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Links are always in the description where you can follow me on other social media platforms. I post pretty regularly on Twitter and Telegram. I got to get better with Getter and Gab, but I'm working on it. All right. But I am on other social media platforms. All my stuff is mirrored on both BitChute and Odyssey. Whenever I have something that's too hot for YouTube, I post it on Odyssey. There's only been a handful of things I've posted there. But follow me on the other social media platforms, including my second channel. I do have a second YouTube channel that I'm using, and I'm safeguarding that channel in case anything happens to this one. I still have a mainstream social media platform to reach the biggest audience. All right. So no more rambling for me. God bless you guys. Appreciate you for tuning in today. You guys are the best. I will see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, 1 p.m. And then starting next week, I think we're going to bump it up to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time instead of 2 p.m. It just makes more sense. There's a method to my madness. That's it. That's all I got to say. God bless you. I'll catch you in the next stream.